New species are described all the time, but I didn't really know.
Most new species that are coming out today aren't even like novel species that are just being discovered. They're usually just split off from already known species that have been found to consist of multiple different species. And a lot of times these new species aren't even that like morphologically different, so you can't even tell the difference most of the time. Being able to distinguish, unique populations like this is important in fully understanding the ecosystem and the species within it, and also just their, their evolution and kind of what's going on with them. But it sure is a lot cooler when completely new species are discovered. And would you look at that, because one was just discovered. Yo, what's up? Shit, man. I got burgers that I gotta get back to. The highland forests of Middle America are notorious for the diversity. They got a ton of lizards, frogs, birds, snakes. They got a lot of them. Oftentimes in really small localized areas, and sometimes just to the tops of mountain peaks. This is likely due to the geography of the area, since a lot of the habitat there is sectioned off into what are pretty much island sort of things, where there's like high mountains that consist of like rainforests with lowlands, drier lowlands that kind of allow for divergence between populations. Among the many species that occur here are Abronia, or the Abronia alligator lizards. These are pretty popular little guys due to their appearance in the pet trade. Really expensive motherfuckers, but pet trade is kind of bad for them because a lot of people will go down into their range in Latin America and poach them, and that's kind of a big deal for them. There's also a bunch of habitat destruction to their beloved tree homes, and that's kind of fucking with them too. Their arboreality and like the canopies of trees makes them really hard to find, hard to catch, and just makes them more mysterious than they already are. And in 2014, a apparent photo surfaced of an Abronia in a range gap that they haven't previously been known in. And so some researchers decided to investigate that shit and figure out what was going on in the northern highlands of the Chiapas. So for the next few years after 2014, these researchers hiked through the rainforest of the northern highlands for like 350 hours, which is 14 days in total, and they only caught 5 specimens. With these 5 specimens representing new species. After sequencing genetic data and comparing the morphological data of other nearby species, the researchers have announced the description of Abronia Species. These are cool little motherfuckers. According to the genetic analysis, the species actually isn't closely related to the closest geographically speaking species is. It's actually related to a species 70 miles away over this kind of like biogeographic barrier that prevents a lot of other species from contacting each other. So I guess they've just been kind of separated like that. They're found in pine forests, often with an abundance of epiphytes, which is like air plants, bromeliads, and like vines. Few locals, when asked about it, even recognized the species, and a researcher that was in the area at the time didn't even see any when they were doing their surveys of the area. This just goes to show how rare these guys are, how secretive they are. I mean, the researchers had to climb like 70 feet up into these trees to get like barely a glimpse into even finding them. So, I mean, obviously it makes sense that the really new species are really hard to find. Shouts out to Abronia Species. I f*** with these dudes. Let's hope for some more new species.